How's it going, everyone? Got quite a lot to talk about in this video. Yet another update for Helldivers 2, and it's looking like the game is doing incredibly well. I mean, we've gone over it. This game has smashed all expectations, especially, I was expecting the game to be really good, but I was not expecting it to do incredibly well commercially. Thankfully, it did pop off the week of release, and a lot of people were talking about it, and for a game like this, that's exactly what you want, and it has resonated at a high level in that regard. Has some issues from a server standpoint, but when the game works, it is an absolute blast to play, and it looks like we can expect a ton of new content updates. And while Helldivers 2 is getting a lot of content updates, one of my favorite games of the last decade is wrapping up its content updates in Dead Cells. Want to talk that at the end of this video as well. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But the CEO of Arrowhead and Helldivers 2 creative director tweeted this: "With the success of Helldivers 2, we're gonna start looking for more amazing developers that can help us accelerate and beef up our content plans. Jobs will be opening up soon, but if you are a senior dev, there's always the open application enlist today with Arrowhead Game Studio." So it looks like they're gonna be expanding as a studio, and remember, while this is a $40 game, it still does have live service elements baked into it. There are microtransactions and things of that nature that I think are done fairly well. I mean, the general consensus is when you look at Helldivers 2, so far what we've seen out of it, outside of the server issues, like, this is how live service I think should work. At least initially, let's see how it, shakes out over the course of a few weeks and a few months, because right now we only have week 1 to go by, but the microtransactions aren't anything crazy. I think all of you guys agree with me that just naturally playing the game, you're gonna get the super credits to get the Steeled Veterans War Bond. There's a cycling amount of content every day that you can buy from the store, but the super credits are fairly, relatively easy to get, and if you do want to invest money into the game because you enjoy the game, hey, you can go and fund the game for everybody else who wants to play the game for just the initial cost. I had a buddy who's, down bad with microtransactions. He's, always buying microtransactions in-game. This sucker bought the double XP boost in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so it's just, you guys know the deal. Some people are just gonna be like that, but he jumped into Helldivers 2, enjoyed the game so much after one game, I kid you not, one game, didn't even think about if super credits were available to get via just playing the game, but after one game, he was just like, alright dude, time to go buy $20 worth of super credits, and he did that, and then he bought the Steeled Veterans War Bond, and then I'm like, bro, do you know that you can get the super credits for free? And then he was just like, oh. But, some people are just like that. They don't care. They got disposable income, and hey, if he wants to, pop off with microtransactions, I know his spending habits in some of these free-to-play games and some of these games with in-game purchase. Bro, if you're dropping money on Assassin's Creed double XP boost, you already know how I feel about that, but if you want to do that, more power to you. That's why these publishers do it to that extent, but with Helldivers 2, I really don't think the microtransactions are anything crazy. Would I like microtransactions to be removed entirely from a pay-to-play game? Yes, but I understand that you gotta monetize these games if you're gonna consistently update them and so on and so forth. But the game has sold exceedingly well over 1 million copies already. I think that number would be higher if there weren't server issues. I mean, I think that goes without saying, and I'm sure some people took advantage of the Steam refund option, but pretty much everybody I've talked to has been like, this game is a slam dunk home run, exactly what we wanted out of Helldivers 2, exactly what people wanted out of co-op game if they didn't, have any attachment towards Helldivers in general, because a lot of people found out about this game after release, day 1. I had so many friends tell me, oh, just saw gameplay of it, and then they saw that I was playing it, and then they're hitting me up about it, so on and so forth. It's one of those games that word of mouth spread really quickly after launch day, and after content creators really started producing content and stuff started going on social media. And generally speaking, when it comes to these multiplayer games and over-the-top action titles like a Helldivers 2, that's what's gonna happen. It's like what happened with Palworld, as I've said, to a much smaller scale, mind you. Palworld peaked at well over 2 million players. This is peaking at, 150K on PC, and I don't know what the PlayStation number is. However, they did say that they upped the server capacity to 350,000, and they blew past that within 5 minutes. So there's a strong community playing this game on PlayStation as well, alongside PC. So this game is doing incredibly well. If you combine both of them, the peak was probably somewhere at 450,000, given that they blew past 350K after the servers expanded. So incredible numbers for Helldivers 2. The game is great, and we'll see where it's at 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, as more content does roll out. And they've already said things about about adding new biomes, enemy encounters, and man, enemy encounters worries me a little bit because some of those robots have been whooping us, but you know, we'll figure it out. And guys, the challenge spike in this game is so crazy. Like, I think everybody I've talked to playing this game on medium is a breeze. You're just like destroying everything, and then you up it to challenging and you're like, whoa. And challenging isn't even scratching the surface of how difficult this game could get. So it's gonna be quite a lot in terms of getting to the highest difficulty. I know some people are getting to the higher difficulties and they're getting whooped into too, but that makes it all the more engaging in my opinion. It's just an awesome co-op experience. Just be a little bit careful with the stratagems because let's be honest, and I'm not gonna say I've been a saint with these stratagems. I've definitely caused some mayhem to my teammates and whatnot. Not intentionally. There's been some intentional ones because, you know, my boys annoy me, but mostly unintentional. Just be careful with those stratagems, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, having a great time with it and excited for more content updates to roll out. Moving on from that, while Helldivers 2 just dropped and it's going to be getting a lot of content updates going in the future, Dead Cells has been out for 6 years, and that game is wrapping up its content updates. As noted on an official post, Hello Dead Cells player, we're reaching out with some important updates on Update 34 Clean Cut on mobile and Update 35 The End is Near on PC consoles, and an important announcement regarding Dead Cells' future. They spoke a little bit about the mobile update, but then they continued, speaking of Update 35, your patience and enthusiasm since the alpha release have been awesome. We really wanted to bring this update to you quickly, but it turns out we can't release it just yet. We're all hands on deck trying to figure this out, so please look out for more updates in the future. Update 35 for Dead Cells marks the end of our creative journey on the game. After an incredible 5-year collaboration and bringing additional content to Dead Cells Live Ops, Evil Empire will be pursuing new adventures, and we can't wait to see what they come up with next. This comes after much reflection, especially following the awesome success of the Return to Castlevania DLC last year. Our commitment to avoiding the more of the same trap and keeping Dead Cells fresh and original has led us to this point. As we've seen with other long-running series, it's crucial not to overextend and risk diminishing the unique charm that makes Dead Cells special to us all. This change explains the recent quiet period on updates, as concluding such a partnership required careful planning to ensure a smooth process for everyone, including the community. As always, we will of course continue to find solutions to make sure that all quality of life issues and bugs are properly fixed across all platforms to provide a worthy experience to all of you. With all of that said, we are committed to continuing the journey in this amazing world with some really cool new stuff outside of the original game so that more and more people can enjoy Dead Cells in totally new ways. Stay tuned for more updates about the animated series, the board game, and the Beheaded appearing in another world. In closing, we are wishing the best to Evil Empire on their upcoming projects and want to express our deepest gratitude to you, the players, for your unwavering support and passion for Dead Cells. Your enthusiasm fuels our commitment, and we're eager to embark on the next chapter of this journey together. Cheers! As the post concludes. Man, Dead Cells has been an absolute thrill ride to cover over the last few years. I remember when the game initially came out. It was in early access for a while, I believe. Then it came out of early access. IGN had that wild review of the game, and that honestly, like, brought more attention to the game, and I think it was a net positive for the game in terms of more people hearing about it, but the game was gonna do great regardless. But yeah, that was a wild time back in 2018 when the game initially dropped, but the game itself was great, and it had a lot of updates and a lot of DLC content. The thing is, I think they're making the right decision, and if they do more Dead Cells content, would it be received well? Would it commercially do well? Probably. It probably would do fairly well, but you do want to get to a point where you're leaving the players wanting more rather than oversaturating the content in the game, and I think, you know, leaving them wanting more instead of diluting the content and doing more of the same. I think that's overall the best route to go, even if you were going to do commercially well with future content. It's like, this is a game that's going to be perpetually sold over and over again for a long time in terms of it going on sale, new people checking it out, so it'll create that residual revenue, but yeah, them moving on to something new. Exciting times ahead, but Dead Cells has been one of those games I often recommend, and with so many action, roguelite, Metroidvania titles on the market these days, there's a lot of competition, and Dead Cells, to me, was the one that really stood out and got a lot of hours of playtime out of me, but yeah, that journey will be coming to an end as far as content updates go. If you have yet to check it out, it goes on sale all the time for $15 or so, and then the complete edition is like sub 30 a lot of the time, so check it out when you do have the opportunity. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, Helldivers 2 gonna get more content rollout, and they're hiring and expanding Arrowhead to satisfy that with the massive success of the game. Hopefully everything does get better, and a new patch for the game did drop, so we'll cover that in a future video, but nonetheless, Arrowhead is going to expand, and Dead Cells updates for that game as far as content updates are coming to an an end. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.